Hello, my name is Victor, and if you're interested in my personal history with Tesla stock, be sure to stick around until the end. But we are not going to waste any time here. We're going to get right into Tesla's most recent earnings in Q1 of 2026, starting off with their income statement. So let's get right into it. And having a look here right out of the gate, I can see that revenue was up 16% compared to this time last year, strong double-digit growth. And Wall Street had an estimated 22.2 billion for the top line. Tesla came in at 22.39 billion. So a beat on revenue, good to see. Operating income was up over double compared to this time last year, up 135%, incredibly strong margin here. And as we're making our way down the list here, I can see that net income was up 17%. Now, considering how revenue was up 16%, I really would have expected a stronger number here. And we're definitely going to come back to this highlighted section here in a moment because I definitely want to discuss where exactly did everything go on its way down to the bottom line. Sticking with the net income for now, though, Wall Street had the earnings per share estimate at about 37 cents per share, when in actuality, Tesla was able to beat those expectations, coming in at 41 cents per share. So strong earnings here right out of the gate from Tesla, beating on the top line and beating on the bottom line, at least when it comes to Wall Street's expectations. But like I had mentioned previously, I want to go back and this highlighted section, which is the other expenses, and it is $535 million that was just swept away on its way to the bottom line. And after I did some digging, it looks like that $535 million was because of foreign currency exchanges and also unrealized digital asset depreciation. So because Bitcoin has been struggling here in 2026, it is going to affect companies who have investments in the crypto sector, if you will. All in all, though, I would say that it is a strong income statement here from Tesla. In my research, I did see that they did have a couple of one-time benefits, so something to keep in mind going forward. But all in all, hey, nothing wrong with an income statement like this. And while I was very impressed with the income statement, the balance sheet, well, let's just get into it, because I'm sure you can see there's a lot of blue here. And that is because there's a lot of low to mid single digit growth. Now it is growth. I don't want to undercut Tesla here, but just having a look here, total assets grew by 4%. Total liabilities was up 7%. So, at least they're keeping that in check, but it's still up. And shareholder equity was up 2%. So again, still up. Everything is going in the right direction, or at least keeping everything in check. But there's not really anything that is excellent or great here on the balance sheet. But having said that, there's also nothing terrible or outright concerning, at least from a quick glance. And if you watch my videos, you know that there is one specific ratio that I love to look at whenever I'm looking at a balance sheet, and that is the total liabilities divided by shareholders' equity. And like I mentioned, there's really nothing wrong with Tesla's balance sheet. So right out of the gate, I saw that they have a ratio that is 0.7. For those of you who are new, anything under 1 is what I want to see. If you're above a 2 for the ratio, then I have to start asking questions, and then I have to do a little bit more digging. But hey, nothing wrong with this balance sheet. It looks like Tesla is doing a great job of managing their debts, and the shareholder equity grew 2%, so I'm not upset about it. Now, we are 2/3 of the way complete here with this analysis, so I want to take this moment, and if you're enjoying the video, be sure to give me a like. It helps out the channel tremendously, and be sure to subscribe because we have a massive week coming up here with Microsoft, Meta, Google, Starbucks. We have a boatload of stocks and their earnings in this upcoming week, so if you do not want to miss out on future analysis earnings videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But keeping it moving here with the video, and next we have Tesla's cash flow statement analysis, and right from the top here you can see that net cash from operations was up 83%. incredibly strong number. And as we make our way down this statement, I can also see that they have heavy investments in AI, in SpaceX, about $2 billion going to a SpaceX investment, which is no surprise because Elon Musk is the CEO of SpaceX. Wouldn't it be nice to have one amazing, grand, big company like Tesla helping you invest for another massive company? It must be nice. Tesla is investing a lot in robotics as well, and all in all, it looks like about $10 billion are going towards investing for the future and growth for the future. Initially, I saw that Tesla's stock did go up after the earnings were announced, and based off of the income statement and the balance sheet, I'm not surprised. But as I did a little bit more research, I saw that CapEx spend, as high as it was here in the first quarter, is expected to increase again throughout the year. In fact, for 2026, Tesla's CapEx spend is projected to be about $25 billion. And as I have discussed here on the channel, Wall Street is not a fan, right now anyway, of tech companies and their massive CapEx spending. As I have talked about, and I'm getting flashbacks of Meta, Google, Microsoft, Wall Street does not want to see massive CapEx spending right now, especially in a situation like Tesla's, but we'll get to that here in just a second. Because one other number that I love to look at whenever I'm looking at the cash flow statement specifically for a company is the free cash flow. Now, for Tesla, in this most recent quarter, we have $1.4 billion of free cash flow, which is amazing because this time last year, that number was about half of that. According to my calculations, it looks like it was about $664 million. So well over a double up on free cash flow, but here's the problem. Because Tesla is projecting this massive CapEx spend, it looks like the free cash flow going through the end of 2026 could be negative. And that is not something that Wall Street wants to see this year, or for any year, really. I personally don't like to see negative free cash flow for any company. It means that you're spending way too much money, and especially when it comes to AI and robotics, I mean, it has the potential to be absolutely ground shattering. I mean, for all I know, I might look like an absolute idiot here 3-5 years from now critiquing Tesla and their investments. But right now, as it stands, a lot of these big tech companies are doing just the same as what Tesla is doing right now, and their stocks have been pummeled for it. So, of course, Tesla is no exception. And the stock chart shows it because year to date, Tesla is down 14%, at least here through the end of April in 2026. Now, keep in mind, they did have a little bit of a run up here prior to and right after their earnings. But since then, because of the massive CapEx spending that is projected through the rest of the year, Tesla stock is continuing to fall just like it has basically all year. And it's not really a good look for a high growth stock like Tesla to be underperforming, especially when a lot of stocks in the S&P 500 and NASDAQ have been absolutely roaring here, at least through the last, 3 to 4 weeks? But okay, that's enough of the numbers. Now I want to give you a little bit of a subjective point of view because Tesla is an absolute blast from the past because I used to own Tesla in my portfolio. In fact, I remember when I first started investing in the stock market back in 2018, Tesla was the high growth, shot in the dark kind of stock that I invested in to see if I could double, triple my money over the next 3 to 5 years. Now, I did sell out of my entire position last year. So in 2025, I decided, you know what? I am out of Tesla completely. But let me be the first to tell you that Tesla was a portfolio game changer for me. And when I started selling out of my position, I remember the highest percentage return that I had was well over 2,000%. Whenever I hit 100% where I double my money in a stock, I call it a hat trick hero. but I don't even have any kind of term or joke to even reference such an insane return on my investment. But it was also a curse for Tesla in that it grew so much that it was by far and away my number one stock in my portfolio, and it was such a heavy weight that even if every single other stock in my portfolio was up, if Tesla was down on any given day, my entire portfolio was down. And vice versa. If Tesla was up and every other stock in my portfolio was down, it didn't matter. Tesla's weighting was so vast that my entire portfolio's outcome depended on how Tesla performed. But it just got to a point where, like I always mention here on my channel, I love stocks that let me sleep peacefully at night. I don't want to be laying in bed thinking about a stock, oh, how's it going to do tomorrow? Or especially before earnings. I remember I would get so anxious because, like I mentioned, if Tesla was down for any reason, my entire portfolio was going to be hit because of it. And that is why I ended up opting for diversity. I took all of my gains in Tesla and split it up over multiple stocks. But having said that, I do sometimes miss having Tesla in my portfolio, and that is why I was so eager to have a look at these earnings, because being able to analyze the earnings and the numbers without any kind of repercussions on my portfolio's end is very nice, let me tell you. But all in all, I'm very impressed with these numbers, and I want to ask the question, is there a potential for me to start buying Tesla again, seeing the weakness throughout 2026? Well, I was incredibly impressed with the income statement. The balance sheet looks solid. The free cash flow is a little concerning, especially going through the end of the year and all of the CapEx spend. I have enough stocks, I think, that have a problem with CapEx spend, at least in Wall Street's opinion. So I'm not sure if I want to include another stock like that. But I think my main critique of Tesla is going to be that even when I started investing in the stock back in 2018, there were all of these promises and hopes of robo-taxi fleets incoming. Full self-driving was always on the horizon. It seemed like year after year we were fed this promise of cars are going to be able to drive themselves. You know, we're not going to have humans make mistakes on the roads anymore. And that was, I'm telling you, since 2018. Here we are in 2026, and we still do not have robo-taxi fleets or full self-driving. And now it seems like Elon Musk has another thing to throw into the bucket here, and that is robots. I've seen, a couple of the past earnings where he's mentioning robots and having them build the cars and having them work in warehouses and things like that. And I'm like, okay, how about we focus on one thing and get that completed before we start making more promises? And that is what has kept me out of Tesla here, and why really I got out of Tesla to begin with. That, and throw in all of the other extracurricular activities, we'll call it, that Elon Musk was having over the last couple of years, that I felt like he could have been spending that time and spending that energy on Tesla. And don't even get me started on SpaceX, because I feel like whenever that does become a public traded company in the stock market, my prediction is going to be that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to sell out of their Tesla stock to hop into the newest, hottest stock, and that's going to be SpaceX. So at this time, in April of 2026, I am not looking into getting back into Tesla, but I would love to get your opinions down below. Are you an investor in Tesla? How long have you been invested in Tesla? And are you still optimistic for the next 3 to 5 years in the stock? Again, if you have made it until this point in the video, be sure to give me a like. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Peace.